Welcome to today's practice. Today, this is more of a somatic, gentle flow, just to help you wind down, or maybe you're struggling in the hotter weather at the moment. This is more just to focus on how you feel in your body, turning the attention more inwards, lingering a little bit longer in the postures. Just allow it to unfold as it should. As always, pick and choose what postures work in your body, and anything that doesn't, modify, or just simply leave it out. That's part of the process of learning to understand ourselves in our practice. So let's start today by coming down onto our back, and we'll begin from there. And as you come down onto your back, just take the body into a star shape. So the arms are out just a little bit more than shoulder wide, higher than shoulder wide, and legs might just be off the mat. Just take a moment to land here. Take a few nice deep inhales and some nice long exhales. Notice how the body is laying on the surface, whether one side feels a little heavier than the other, like there's more weight in one side than the other. And then from here, let's simply pick up the left leg, take it over to the right edge of the mat, laying it next to the right foot. And then taking hold of your left wrist with your right hand, let's take the upper body over to the right, still grounded into both shoulders, both hips, breathing into the left side. And then taking the upper body back to center, coming back to the star shape with the arms. Take the left leg back over to the left side of the mat. And then we'll move to the right. So picking up the right foot, take it over to be next to the left. And then take hold of your right wrist with your left hand, shifting the upper body over to the left. And just land in that crescent moon shape. You might observe the sensations are in a different place on this side. And then take the upper body back to the center, back to the star shape. Take the right foot back over to its side of the mat. And just take a moment to land here, just observing if anything has changed. And then let's draw the knees in towards the chest. Just hugging them in close enough so the back feels nice and grounded and flat into the floor. You could invite a gentle sway to and fro. But if you are going to move, make the movement slow and deliberate. Sometimes moving in a posture can be quite distracting from the sensations it is bringing to you. It's about finding that happy medium, that balance. And then keeping things nice and calm and slow, let's bring ourselves up to seated. So maybe roll to one side or take a roll up. And then just sit comfortably, either in a cross-legged position with the right shin in the front, in a simple Sukhasana. If you have more open hips, you could take a half lotus with the right foot on the top, but really only if this comes with ease. We don't want any big challenging sensation here. From here, taking a nice inhale, reaching the arms up. And just take an exhale, turn to the right and just release the hands down, arriving in a twist, focusing on turning the belly and the chest to the side. And then turning back to face forwards. And then swap the cross of the legs, so either the left shin is in the front or the left foot is on the top in a half lotus. Take an inhale, reaching up. Exhale, take a twist to the left. Nice, slowly turning back to face forwards. From here, let's take our feet together, bring the soles together, allow the knees to open nice and wide, coming into a butterfly shape. Draw the heart forwards and up, nice long spine. Just allow the knees to open out. And then from here, take a very gentle bounce of the knees, that fluttering motion. Slowly bring that back to stillness. Take the feet a little bit further forwards. And then nod the chin down to the chest and find a really relaxed, dangly fold. Very slowly coming back up. Draw the knees together and let's move around to all fours. Coming to a hands and knees position, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And then we'll move through some cat to cow. So dipping the belly, draw the heart forwards, nice inhale. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. And then on your exhale, tuck the tailbone, round out the back, nod the chin to the chest, hugging everything in. And let's move between those two shapes just a few times, working with your own breath. Taking this as your last repetition. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Let's thread the needle from here. So find an inhale, reach the right arm up. You could follow the hand with your gaze. And then we're going to thread the right arm underneath the left armpit. Let the right shoulder, right side of head touch down. Left hand could either rest on the floor next to the face, gently pushing into the mat. It could reach towards the front of the mat. If you're taking this version, you might shift the hips a little bit to the right to create even more length. Another option is to wrap the left arm around the back, letting it find your opposite waist, or you could hook around your thigh if it is available. From here, bring the left hand back to the floor next to the face to push down, slowly reaching the right arm all the way back up, and then lowering the right hand back down towards the floor. Let's repeat that on the other side. Inhale, reaching the left arm up. Exhale, threading the left arm underneath the right armpit. So land on left shoulder, left side of head. Right hand maybe, again, pressing into the mat, extending out towards the front of the mat, or wrapping around your back. Shift the hips a little bit to the left to create extra length for the right side, especially if you're in the variation with the arm elongated in front. From here, place the right hand down next to the face to push down, and then let's reach the left arm all the way back up, and then slowly lower the left hand back down towards the floor, coming back to that all fours position. From here, let's take the knees a little bit wider towards the edges of the mat. Bring the big toes into touch. Start to sit the hips back towards the heels. They don't have to come all the way back. Extend the arms forwards towards the front of the mat, releasing the forehead down towards the floor. If you're somebody that's head doesn't make it all the way to the floor, an alternative could be to fold the arms and rest your head on your forearms. From here, slowly start to lift the gaze to look forwards, lifting the hips away from the heels, bringing the knees back in to about hip width distance. From here, let's edge the hands a little bit further forwards of the shoulders, tuck the toes, and then we're going to lift the hips up into a downward dog. So creating that upside down V shape, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, allowing the head to gaze either perhaps back towards the feet or perhaps back to the belly button, just depending on how your downward dog is today. Gently encouraging the heels down towards the floor. Again, if you enjoy a little bit of movement, you're welcome to find a foot pedaling motion if there's a bit of tension in the hamstrings. And then just starting to bring your downward dog back to stillness. Now from our downward dog, we're going to bring our right foot forwards towards the top of the mat. So you might need to help it through. Lower the left knee down towards the floor. A good option if you struggle with that step is to drop the knees to the floor first and then take the right foot forwards once you've dropped the knees down. That's always a good option for people that struggle with that transition. Taking the hands either side of the right foot, framing the foot, sinking the hips, draw the heart forwards. Nice breath here, so encouraging gently that left hip a little closer to the floor, lengthening down the front of the left thigh. You're more than welcome to stay here, or you could walk the hands in a little closer, coming up a little higher, reaching the arms up. Either just reach them straight upwards, or you could take hold of opposite elbows or forearms if you can't reach your elbows, framing the head, drawing the heart forwards and up. Find that little tuck of the tailbone so the lower back isn't taking all of the work. Nice breath here, in and out of the nose. From here, take the hands down to frame the foot. And then find your back toes, lift the knee, and then let's step back to our downward facing dog. Pressing the hips back up. Drawing the heart down towards the shins. And then from here, let's draw forwards into a plank. Let's allow the knees to touch down to the floor here. Shift the upper body a little further forwards and let's lower all the way down towards the floor, coming down to our front. Once we're down onto our front, let's gather the elbows in under the shoulders, prop onto the forearms, draw the heart forwards and up, draw the shoulder blades down the back. That soft engagement of the glute muscles just to support your lower back in this extension. And really take a moment to notice the sensations of being in this back bend, even if there's only very few. From here, let's come back down Bring the hands under the shoulders. Either push back to all fours if you find it easier to bring the foot through from there, or you could tuck your toes and lift your hips back up to the downward facing dog. We're going to bring our left foot forwards to the front of the mat. Right knee is released down towards the floor. So again, setting up here, take your time, framing the left foot, sink the hips, draw the heart forwards and up. Nice breath here. So we've got our options. Maybe stay just like this a little bit longer, or you might come up a little higher, either reaching the arms upwards. If you can remember which bind of the forearms you took last time, take the opposite. If you can't, it doesn't really matter. Reaching for opposite elbows, opposite forearms. Draw the heart forwards and up. Little tuck at the tailbone, not jumping into the lower back. Nice from here. Let's take the hands back down towards the floor. Find your back toes, lift the knee, and then let's move back to our downward dog. From our downward dog, and again, let's move forwards into plank. You might touch the knees down, lowering yourself all the way down to the floor. Maybe coming back into Sphinx pose, just revisiting this gentle extension. If you feel like something a little bit higher this time, point the fingers towards the opposite corners of the mat. Begin to press the palms, maybe slightly hover the elbows off the floor, or you could lift a little higher, straightening the arms, coming into seal pose. Really focus on drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Definitely need some glute engagement here. And if this is not comfortable for you, please come back down to the Sphinx. This is a mostly centered in the lower back sort of bend. So if that area is sensitive for you, then act accordingly. Let's come all the way down from your whichever version of the posture you were in. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push back to all fours, tuck into the toes, and let's come back to our downward dog. Not going to be here for long. We're just going to start to walk the feet forwards towards the top of the mat. Let's meet with them about hip width. Soft knees dangling down towards the legs. Either just let the arms relax down towards the floor, or you could be holding opposite elbows like we did in the lunge. Perhaps a bit of a sway here or stillness. Again, really taking a moment just to observe the sensations, what you feel when you are in this shape. Can you feel tension down the back of the legs? Back of the hips? Is it somewhere else? And let's bring the hands onto the shins, draw the heart forwards, find a flatter back. If the shins isn't high enough, take the hands to the thighs. Take a breath or so here. And then find that dangly fold again. Bring in a little bit more knee bend and let's slowly start to roll up the spine, really taking your time to come to stand. Once you get there, make any adjustments, make sure that you're not dizzy. And we are arriving in our mountain pose. So just take a moment, feet could be hip width, feet could be together. Maybe close the eyes. Find a nice smooth breath. And then softly opening the eyes, let's step our right foot back, about the length of one of your legs. Point the left toes to the front of the mat, right foot is turned out to the side. So chest is turned to the right. Fly the arms wide into a T shape. Take a moment to take up space, lengthening out across the chest. Nice inhale here. Exhale, start to reach into the left hand. Take the left hand down to the lower leg, anywhere between the thigh and the floor. Right arm could raise upwards towards the sky if your shoulder feels good. If your shoulder doesn't feel good doing that, you might have the hand on the hip as an alternative. Maybe gazing up to the top hand or down to the left foot. option to explore a little bit of extra length down the side body, you're welcome to float the right arm over by the ear. If this causes your arm to fall in front of the face, maybe point the fingertips back up to the sky. You want to be able to peek out from underneath your arm. Try and get the arm as straight as possible. And then slowly point the right fingertips back up. Start to rise, taking your time. And then turning your left foot so it's pointing to the long edge of the mat. Turning the right toes out to the back of the mat. Start to reach into the right fingertips, taking the right hand down to the lower leg, raising the left arm up this time. Adjust your drishti to where is best for you. Nice smooth breath here, working to stack the shoulders, drawing up through the kneecaps. Option to float the left arm over by the ear, reaching into the fingertips. Take the left arm back up if you took it over, slowly coming back up to stand. Lower the arms down, turning the feet square. Turn to the top of the mat, take a step up, meeting back in your mountain pose. So from here, I'm going to turn to the long edge of the mat to face you. You can stay pointing to the top of the mat if you prefer, or you can also turn to the long edge of the mat if you prefer. Take a moment to focus on the feet, lift the toes, lower them. Step off the mat if it's quite thick. We are going to find a standing balance. So adjust your stance so you are somewhere where you feel stable. Start to bring a little bit more weight into the left leg. Begin to find a fixed gaze point, perhaps something that is on the floor or the wall in front of you. Slowly start to draw the right knee up in towards the chest. Take a moment to find your balance here. This might be the extent of your balance today. If you feel stable, you might open the knee wide and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the left leg. You could go against your thigh, you could go much lower down if the thigh is just too high. Once you feel set up in your legs, maybe take a low prayer at the chest. Maybe take a high prayer up towards the sky, or you could separate the arms wide. That does create a little bit of a bigger surface area, and it can make things easier on the balance front. So just pick the variation that feels good for you. Nice smooth breath, in and out of the nose. Breath is really key to help with our balance and stability. Doesn't matter if you wobble, just come back in again. From here, lower the arms if you took a version with the arms above the head. Turn the knee forwards, release the foot down. Maybe take a moment just to loosen out any tension you might be feeling. And then we'll set up for the other side. So again, lift the toes, lower them. Find that nice sense of groundedness. Let's take the weight into the right leg. Fixed gaze point, smooth breath. Starting to draw the left knee up in towards the chest. And take a moment to find your balance. When stable, knee goes wide, setting it up on the inside of your other leg. Choosing your arm variation, it does not have to be the same as the other side. Slowly lower the arms if they were above the head. Turn the knee forwards, lowering the foot down. If you're pointing to the top of the mat, turn to the side. We're going to take the feet a little bit wider now. So just start here by pointing the toes a little bit outwards to a 10 o'clock and a 2 o'clock position. Fly the arms wide into a T shape. So nice inhale, take up space. And then exhale, start to bend the knees, bring the hands to heart center, coming into our goddess squat. So keeping the chest nice and lifted as we sink the hips down. Try not to tip forwards, staying nice and upright. Breathing here, just a couple of rounds of breath. This posture will likely be creating some sensation within the body, some challenges. Nice, straighten the legs out nice and slowly, open the arms out wide, take up space, and then lower the hands down towards the hips. Turn the feet so they're facing to the long edge of the mat now, so they're not turned out anymore. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, take an inhale, lift the chest, draw the heart forwards and up. And then exhale, start to fold from the waist, coming forwards, bringing the hands down. If you can't reach the floor, just take your lower legs, not a problem. Placing the hands if they're on the ground, take an inhale, lift the chest a little higher, find a bit of a flatter back. Exhaling, coming down into a fold. Depending on the depth of your fold, you could walk the hands back a little bit further, maybe even gazing back behind you. Nice smooth breath. Nice. From here, start to walk the hands forwards again to move under the shoulders. When you feel ready, bring the hands onto the hips and then slowly start to come up to stand. Make sure you're not dizzy, so take your time. Once you're there, turning towards the top of the mat, and let's take a step up. So meeting back in our standing position, our Tadasana at the top of the mat. Taking an inhale, reaching the arms up, touching palms together. You might look upwards. Exhale, folding down towards the floor. Inhale, flatten the back, lift the chest. Maybe hands come to shins. Exhale to fold. Take your feet back to plank. Either drop the knees or keep them lifted. Let's lower all the way down to the floor. You could come back to your Sphinx pose, or you might keep the hands under the shoulders, roll the shoulder blades down the back, softly engage the glutes, lead with the chin and chest, peeling up into cobra, maybe low cobra, maybe higher if that is available for you. Nice breath here. We're going to take a few breaths. Often the postures like this are rushed through. Let's really take a moment to feel it. So make sure that you're somewhere where you can feel good in this shape and you're not struggling. And then let's slowly come back down, pushing back to an all fours position. So coming back to that hands and knees shape. From here, let's extend the right leg back behind, raising the leg up so the body's nice and parallel. You might stay here, or you could add by reaching the left arm out in front, taking bird dog pose. Really drawing through the abs here, nice strong core. For those of you that it's available for, you could bend the right knee, reach the left hand back for the right ankle. If you can get that connection, push the foot and the hand together, lift the leg, lift the chest, tiger pose. From your tiger pose, release, take the left hand down, extend the right leg back and just lower the foot down with the leg straight. We're going to turn so the foot can ground, so turn the right foot parallel with the short edge of the mat. Shift the left foot out to the left. Getting ready for a supported side plank. Start to reach the right arm up towards the sky. Nice breath here. Again, like the triangle pose, if you want to float the arm over by the ear, you are more than welcome to. Option for another tiger variation, raising the right leg up, maybe bending the knee, taking the right ankle, pushing the foot and the hand together. Gently release, lower the right foot down, turning down towards the floor. tucking in the left foot, and then bringing the right knee back in to be next to the left knee, back to that all fours reset position. From here, extending the left leg back behind. Keep the chest lifted, engage the abdominals, raising that leg up. Maybe stay here, maybe extending right arm out in front. For those that can, you can bend the left knee, take the right hand back for the ankle, push the foot and the hand together, raising the leg up for tiger pose. Gently let go, take the right hand down, extending the left foot to the back of the mat. Ground the heel, turn the foot parallel, shift the right foot out to the right. From there, let's reach the left arm up, coming into our supported side plank. Maybe taking the left arm over by the ear. Maybe raising the left leg up. If you want to take the tiger variation, you can bend the left knee, take hold of the ankle, push the foot and the hand together. Gently release. Start to lower the left foot down, turning down towards the front of the mat, tucking the right foot in, bringing the left knee back in to that start point. From here, we're going to keep our hands exactly where they are, underneath the shoulders. Walk your knees over to the right edge of the mat. And then we're going to drop our hips over to the left. So your chest is still facing the top of the mat, but you've dropped your hips over to the side. This might feel like quite an intense twist. Focus on drawing the heart forwards towards the top of the mat. You can experiment with a few different versions. So one version is to lower the elbows and take it in more of a Sphinx pose. That might change it for you. Some of you might prefer to lower the chest all the way to the floor. Take the arms to a cactus shape. And you could even turn the head to the left, but I would only do that if your shoulders are square. If you lower down, bring the hands under the shoulders, slowly start to push yourself back up, and then lifting the hips up, so you're back to the hands and knees. Walk the knees back to the center, bring the hands back in under the shoulders in case they drifted, and then walk the knees over to the left edge of the mat, lower the hips down towards the right. Same thing, maybe stay upright, turning towards the front of the mat, maybe lowering the elbows down to the floor, maybe lowering the chest, turning the head to the right this time. Bring the hands under the shoulders, slowly start to push the chest back up if you lowered down, then start to lift the hips up, walking the knees back to the center of the mat. And then from here, just take a little bit of a barrel roll, perhaps, just releasing out any tension that might be there. Nice, and then we're going to bring ourselves all the way down onto our front again. And then we're going to extend the left arm out in front. You might edge a little bit over to the right side of the mat. So we're going to go roll onto our left side. So the left arm is becoming a pillow for your upper arm. Have the body nice and straight. You could keep the right hand here for support as you set up. If it's really wobbly, just bend the knees. That makes life a little bit easier. From here, we're going to take the right arm up and over and let it find the left arm or hand. It's probably not going to be a perfect prayer, otherwise it will be hovering. So your right fingertips will probably be finding the left palm. or perhaps the wrist. Take the right hand back down to the floor in front for support, turning back down to your front, and just edge yourself perhaps a little bit over to the left. Extend the right arm, rolling onto the right side this time, so your upper arm becomes a pillow for the head. Arrange yourself so you don't feel wobbly, taking the left arm up and over, finding that variation of your side mountain pose. Place the left hand on the floor in front, start to turn back down towards the floor, edging yourself back to the center of the mat. From here, bring the hands under the shoulders, pushing back. We're going to come around to seated from here. And once we're in a seated position, take the legs out to a wider V shape. Comfortably wide for you, it doesn't have to be the splits. Flex the feet, pointing the toes upwards, drawing up through the kneecaps. Nice inhale here, a nice exhale here. Place the hands on the floor in front, and we're going to do this really slowly. Really draw the heart forwards and up, and if you don't feel like there's any space to move forwards, then don't. Stay here. You can even pop the hands behind if that works better for you. We're going to slowly start to lean forward, so just begin to lean the chest down towards the floor, perhaps walking the hands a little bit in front. Perhaps you go a little bit further, maybe even letting the elbows touch down on the floor. If you've got to that depth and that's enough for you, you might just rest the head into the hands. You can continue to go forwards with the hands and lower the chest more towards the floor if you've got a deeper fold. If you prefer, you could take the arms out to the lower legs. Nice smooth breath here. Make sure you're still able to breathe freely. Bend the knees a little if it's feeling very tight in the hamstrings. Very slowly start to walk the hands back in, bringing yourself back up. And then bringing the legs in a little bit closer. So not quite so wide, perhaps about mat wide for you if you're facing the front of the mat. And then we're going to bend in towards the right knee, bringing the sole of the foot just next to the left knee. So it's not up into the groin, it's literally pushing against the inside of that knee there. Place something under this knee if you feel like you need the support. Maybe stay here. You could fold forwards. Another option is to bring the other leg into it as well. So you could take fire log pose. This is an acquired taste. I only recommend this for people with really open hips. Taking our left leg, taking the heel of the foot directly on top of the right knee, and then your left knee goes directly above the right foot. There might be a little bit of a gap, that's fine. There might not be. If you're feeling really awkward here and it's just not working, then I would stay with the one leg at a time. Nice breath here. And then we're going to find a twist. So start to turn the chest around to the right. Start with the left hand on the right knee and the right hand just gently on the floor behind. Now, if you've got a little bit more depth and deeper twist, and if you're in the fire log variation with both feet, you're welcome to take this further by taking your left elbow towards the sole of the foot. Make a fist with the right hand, place the right hand into the left, grasp that fist, push the fist into your hand to turn the chest more upwards towards the sky. Soften if you're in the twist, slowly start to turn back forwards. If you're in the variation with both legs, removing the top leg, and then let's remove the bottom leg and just get everything a little bit of a loose shake before we move to the other side. And then from here, let's bend the left knee, bringing the sole of the foot against the right knee. So we're not in a wide stance. We've got that upside down triangle in between the legs here. Either stay with the one leg because you know what the posture is. This might suit you best. You can take the twist from here if you prefer. Or you can bend your right knee, bring the heel of the right foot on top of the left knee, and then the right knee is directly above the left foot. Again, absolutely fine to have a gap. You could put something in that space if you feel you need it. Once the legs are arranged in the way that works for you, we're going to turn to the left. So start with the right hand on the left knee, left hand lightly supporting behind. Let's breathe here. If you want to go further, again, maybe place the right elbow into the sole of the foot, make a fist with the left hand, place the fist into the right hand, grasping it, pressing the left hand down to turn the chest upwards. Lovely, very gently release, start to turn back forwards. Remove the top leg. If you're using the top leg, remove the bottom leg. Take the feet about as wide as the mat, place the hands behind for support, and just take a bit of a windscreen wiper motion with the knees, just letting them sway from one side to the other. And then from here, make sure you've got space behind you on your mat, so edge forwards a little bit if you need to. We're going to lower down on towards our back and just arrive with the feet planted. The knees are pointing upwards towards the sky, so feet about hip width. Also the knees about hip width. Rest the hands down by the sides, palms are turned down. Find a tuck of the tailbone here, a pelvic curl. Start to press the feet into the floor, slowly lifting the hips up, lifting lower back, middle back, coming up on towards the shoulder blades. And then very slowly lower the back down towards the floor. Nice. Once the back is grounded towards the floor, open the arms either wide into a T shape. We might make a cactus shape if you prefer. Shifting the hips over to the right and just let the knees drop over to the left. You could turn the head to look over the right shoulder. Lifting up the right knee and then the left knee. Shift the hips back to the center. And then shifting the hips to the left. Allow the knees to drop to the right, maybe turning to look over left shoulder. Lifting up the left knee, then the right knee. Shift the hips back to center. And then draw the knees into the chest, revisiting that gentle hug we did at the beginning. And then widen the knees a little, about shoulder width. Reach the hands down inside of the feet, either grabbing the outsides of the feet, ankles, or higher up the legs. Point the soles of the feet up to the sky. Encourage the knees down towards the armpits, coming into an Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Find stillness here so you can really experience the posture without the distraction of movement. And then slowly let go of the feet. Draw the knees together, place the feet down onto the floor. Once the feet are onto the floor, bring them together, let the knees open out wide into a butterfly. Either keep the arms and hands onto the belly, down by the sides, or you could take the arms overhead, holding opposite elbows, or you could even clasp the hands behind the head and allow the elbows to go wide. Relaxing in this butterfly variation. If it doesn't feel good for you to do butterfly, bring the knees together and take the feet towards the edges of the mat, doing a constructive rest position instead. Take the hands away from the back of the head to the outside to the legs and just draw the knees in together. Gather the knees into the chest again, taking a final hug. And then from here, we'll make our way into our relaxation. So lengthen the legs out away from you. Take them back to that just wider than hip width distance position. Arms could go out to the sides in traditional Shavasana or any other laying shape that is comfortable for you. Just finding a few moments of stillness. Slowly start to bring some movement back in, perhaps wriggle the toes and the fingers to begin with. Turn the wrists and the ankles. Maybe plant the feet onto the floor. Have a little bit of sway of the knees from one side to the other. Maybe even gathering the knees into the chest. I would recommend rolling to one side first. Just settle into a side laying position or a fetal position. And then from there, using the top hand to press into the floor, slowly bring yourself back up to seated. Take a moment to sit comfortably. Re-establish that stillness, that sense of peace generated from the practice. Thank you for taking the time to practice today, and also thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste, and thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.